Hello, friends, and welcome back to the NintenGems podcast. My name is Braydon.
And I'm Jake.
We are sitting across from each other for the last time before he goes off to school.
How sad.
But we're enjoying it so far, and we're here to have a good time recording a podcast.
Yes, sir. And just because we won't be physically in front of each other, I don't think anything's really going to change with the podcast. It'll sound exactly the same.
And we're looking forward to continuing it from a distance. It'll be our little project to bond over.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can find us on Facebook currently. We have a social media presence there. We posted a little hint about maybe what our gem might be this week. You can find the podcast itself on iTunes, Spotify, as well as our Podbean website. So check us out at nintengems.podbean.com.
Yeah, and hopefully one day maybe we'll get out to some other podcast services such as Google and the like.
We're working on it. We'll get there. Should we get into the news?
Let's get right into it.
All right. So our first piece of news from this last week is about the EVO tournament. Are you familiar with that?
Oh, yeah.
It's a series of tournaments for multiple fighting games. What were some of the games they played this year? Is it Street Fighter V?
Probably whatever the newest Tekken is.
Tekken.
Yeah. I am not current in fighting games.
I'm not either, other than Super Smash Bros.,
Exactly,
however,
yeah.
which is what we're here to talk about, actually. It had the highest EVO viewing record of all time.
Of all EVO period or just Smash?
Yeah, so it's Smash Bros. Ultimate has set the record for any game in EVO history, confirmed at over 279,000 viewers.
That's so cool.
So go us, go Nintendo,
Yeah.
Go Smash Bros.
Smash Bros. Has always been a pretty big deal at EVO. Do you remember that one year where they tried to stop them from playing Melee?
I do remember that, and there was a bit of a backlash against that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is the interesting thing, though, that this isn't Melee. It's Ultimate, which Melee has been generally the Smash game that has been present at EVO tournaments.
I think it's safe to say that Ultimate's going to take over Melee. I mean, I'm always of the mind where I thought Smash Wii U was better than Melee, and I think Ultimate is better than Wii U and Melee. So I'm not a purist, I guess.
No, absolutely. No, I'm with you. I would rank them identically, I think. Melee actually certainly better than Brawl.
That's
I'll give
for
it
sure.
that. But I thought 4 was good enough. But Ultimate certainly takes the cake. But anyway, just thought that was cool.
Yeah, it shows how big of a deal, how Nintendo isn't just for kids.
Yeah.
You know, lots of adults, pro gamers playing it, watching it. So that's cool.
Yeah. Our next piece of news, there was a new Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer this week with some new reveals. What did you think about that?
Well, it was a 2-minute trailer that was packed with what felt like so many things.
It was just like cut every half second, like of a new image, new Pokemon,
Yeah.
new something.
Yeah, the Pokemon community has been going crazy the past few days about this. So I didn't watch it the first few days. I've been, as we mentioned, since I'm moving soon, I've been so busy with all that stuff. But I caught up and watched it just the other day, and I thought it was like a Pokemon Direct, like just because of how much stuff people were saying was in it. But it was a 2-minute trailer, and there is so much stuff in it. If you want to go ahead and get into what was revealed.
Yeah, the first big thing is that there are Galarian forms similar to Alolan forms. Is that how you would pronounce both of those?
Galarian, Alolan.
And yeah, so they revealed a Galarian Weezing. He has like a top hat and a mustache going with kind of the United Kingdom British gentleman.
He looks like Doug Dimmadome from Fairly Odd Parents.
Wow, that's actually pretty good. That's funny.
That's been the big meme going
Does he have a
around.
monocle?
Yeah, and I don't know if he has a monocle, but there's been a bunch of memes of like people drawing Doug Dimmadome as a Pokemon trainer, like with the Galarian Weezing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Zigzagoon and Lanoon were also the two of them that they showed off.
They look like they're from Kiss.
Yeah, they do. They're black
Yeah.
and white, got the X's and everything.
The tongues hanging out.
Yeah, they're really cool. And actually, they've introduced a third evolution for them as well. Obstagoon is how I would pronounce it. He becomes bipedal, and I don't know, he kind of looks like a big, tough guy. I don't know. I didn't expect that evolution from that line.
He looks all right. Yeah, I kind of like the animal-esque stuff of Zigzagoon and Lanoon
Right,
better.
and he becomes a little humanoid, but I don't know. We'll see how this Galarian theme continues.
Yeah, I mean, I love Zigzagoon because Gen 3 is my favorite generation of Pokemon. So I'm glad Gen 3 is getting more representation.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be cool. There's a new form-changing Pokemon named Morpeko. He has full belly and hangry mode.
Hangry mode.
Yeah, hangry mode.
He gets so hangry.
Which changes his type. When he's full belly, he's electric, and when he's hangry, he goes dark.
Here's the real question: is how many electric mice can Pokemon make?
They just keep cranking them out.
There's so many.
Is it every generation they come up with like a new one?
I think so. I don't think there was one in Gen 2, but Marilla was kind of the...
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, even though it's nothing like Pikachu. Remember, it was called like Blue Pikachu
right,
or something
yeah.
like back in the day. I think he's cute.
He does look cute. And he changes colors with the different forms and everything. So, I don't know. Who would you equate that with? What other Pokemon have forms?
Oh, geez. There's a few of them.
Well, and the forms have never intrigued me as much as like
Rotom. Rotom has a bunch of different forms.
Likes the shape of like different electronics.
Yeah, there's a Pokemon in Gen 3 that changes based on the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Cast form. That's
Cast
right.
form, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of those guys. Yeah. There's a few. There was one in Gen 4 too that was based on the season. It would change. You know the one I'm talking about? I mean, full disclosure, I love Pokemon, but I don't know all 900 of them.
Yeah, it's hard to keep them straight. But the final thing of the trailer were kind of the new rivals. And there's Bede, Bede is how it's spelled. Interesting.
He looks like a fancy rich boy.
Yeah.
That wants to beat you up and take your lunch money.
He does. It looks very English again. I don't know. Mm-hmm. They're hitting the theme very well. And then there's Marnie, who seems to be like some kind of pop star, I guess.
She looks like a punk metal kind of pop star, which also feels kind of very British. The
underground type thing. It's cool, but apparently the evil Team Yell.
Yeah,
like one would yell. I don't know. I think that's kind of goofy.
Oh, but, I think they're terrible. I hate them already.
But Team Yell is revolves around Marnie, this punk star.
Yeah, because in the trailer it describes them as Marnie's a wild fan.
So, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but
me neither.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely intrigued because that at first I was like, oh, so Marnie, because in a lot of Pokemon games there's two rivals, or at least recently. So I was like, oh, so Marnie's just one of your rivals because that's how it puts her. But then I'm like, oh, what if she's like evil? Because she could be leading them, or she could be like, guys, stop. And they're like, we have to take all the Pokemon to impress Marnie.
Right, right. I don't know.
I gotta tell you, Marnie blew up on the internet. There's so much fan art of stuff, and it's been 5 days, and there's already hundreds and hundreds of pictures of her online.
Take it easy, everyone. We'll get more info on her soon. Our next piece of news comes from Best Buy, actually, and it's more news on the Joy-Con front.
Yeah.
They're getting some, I would call them like slime green. I think for
Luigi Green.
Yeah, Luigi Green for Luigi's Mansion 3. They're coming out when
October 27th, I believe, a few days before
the
Luigi's
game itself.
Mansion 3, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And they're going to have the full $79.99 price tag.
Which means I get to look at them in the store and go, wow, that's so cool, and
yeah.
not buy them.
No, but if you're a collector, again, they're really cool looking, so.
Yeah, and I know there are people out there who have, every single Joy-Con, and that's a dream of mine, but I don't have... Because, in order to have all the Joy-Cons, I was looking at this the other day, Nintendo Life posted an article about all the different Joy-Cons, and, there's the Smash Bros. Ultimate Joy-Cons, which you had to buy the special edition Switch for that, and there's the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee Joy-Cons, which you had to buy the special edition for that, so... On top of having to spend $80 to get all the separate ones, you would have had to spend $600 to get each. Wait, no, more than that. They were $400 a piece because they came with the game.
Yeah.
So $800 just for the Joy-Cons. I'm sure you can buy them online, but I'm sure people hike up the prices because they're special edition.
Ugh,
so
gross.
Yeah.
But so cool at the same time.
Right. So that's cool. Look forward to that in October.
Next up, this is also via Nintendo Life. They estimate that Nintendo has spent approximately 60% of the total TV advertisement money from the gaming industry. So that's above Xbox, Sony, any of the independent brands, and they topped Rockstar, who came in second with 35.9%. So Nintendo was nearly double that.
Yeah, they spent $3.7 million this past month. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I guess it just goes to show that they either have confidence in their product or just have some money to blow. Because it's doing so well.
Well, and it also noted in the article that they've prioritized Nickelodeon channels. So maybe that's why it costs so much.
Right.
It does say that they reached about 383.6 million people. So
That's, I imagine, got to be worth their money.
it worked on me when I was a kid.
Right. Well, and it looks like they prioritized Mario Maker 2 for the kids' channels, which does make a whole lot of sense. Mario is just super kid friendly, and especially Mario Maker 2, kids love Minecraft, build your own stages. So
yeah,
I don't know, makes a lot of sense.
And out of that 3.7 million, which they spent last quarter, $900,787 of that was spent on one Mario Maker 2 ad. On one ad. I think I've seen the ad that it's in reference to, and it's not all that fancy.
I think it's just a bunch of gameplay, but
yeah.
But still, I guess you just got to get your name across.
I included that in our little news thing because I was like, that's just crazy. That's just a cool little tidbit of Nintendo information.
It is, yeah. I don't know if Nintendo had more or less coming out in the last month than the other consoles, like Xbox
way
and
more.
Sony, just didn't have as much to advertise in the first place.
That's all. That's another thing is, yeah, there were like no Xbox games that came out this last month. There were no PlayStation games. Because I'm a big PlayStation guy too, and in past there have been a month or two periods where I don't touch my Switch, and the opposite has been true, where I've just been nothing. This summer has been like the summer of Switch. Like I've just been playing my Switch this summer. I barely touched my PlayStation.
Hot Switch summer.
Yeah.
So, keeping on with the Super Mario Maker 2, just a little tack-on fun tidbit of information there. Nintendo announced that players have uploaded over 5 million courses.
That's so cool.
It's been out, a month, maybe?
Yeah, a little over a month. That's so many courses.
How many is that a day?
Oh my god, too many.
And I just crunched the numbers. And if the game's been about approximately a month, that's 166,666 courses per day.
That's insane.
So, just fascinating. Our next piece of news, I think, is actually pretty important for the industry.
I'd say so.
I don't know. It's almost an ethical issue at this point. It's about loot boxes. Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony have all announced that there's a date in 2020 that they will start disclosing the odds of loot boxes. The ratio of whatever rare item it is you're looking for will come out of the loot boxes that they're going to make you pay for. Loot boxes are notorious for being part of microtransactions. You have to pay $5 to get a key to unlock this random lottery box, and 99% of the time you're going to get junk wheels in Rocket League or junk skin in whatever game it is. But there's the 1% chance that you're going to get it. And so that's become almost an addictive issue for kids and adults.
Yeah, it's been a big story recently in the gaming sphere. It was really popularized in 2016 with Overwatch, because Overwatch was, in my memory, the big first game to have loot boxes, and people loved getting those loot boxes because you got cool, like not just color swap skins for your characters, like cool actual like other skins. So people put a lot of money into that. Blizzard was making so much off of it. Everyone else took notice, and now there's loot boxes and everything. I'm kind of in the middle on this issue. I get the argument that's like, well, you should have self-control and just not do it. Because personally, I've never bought a loot box that wasn't bought with in-game currency. But I know that there are definitely people with gambling addictions and stuff that get taken advantage of. Kids, for sure. That, people also say like, oh, well, parents should just have more, control over their kids. Because, you hear stories where, kid spent $5,000 on Fortnite and cleaned out his parents' bank account. And people are like, well, that parent should have just had more control. But it's not like that stuff, sure. But there are definitely things where it's like, when I was a kid, my parents would occasionally buy me toys and stuff. And this is this new younger generation's version of that with Fortnite and stuff. I used to work at GameStop, and so I can attest of how often people came in and spent $10 here on digital currency all the time. And it was always kids. And that's what's happening now is mom is saying, all right, you can have something that's $10. And instead of the kid being like, oh, I want this new action figure, they're like, oh, I want $10 so I can buy a loot box in Fortnite or FIFA.
But I do, and that's almost a separate issue though. There's digital currency, which is one problem in and of itself. Because I don't know, I think it's weird to pay for money in this game that ideally you should have paid the full price of the game when you bought it.
Yeah.
But it's one issue to use that in-game currency for a skin you know what you're getting. It's another for it to be a randomized loot box. So, and that's what the issue is here. And Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, they've all agreed that they're going to start showing the odds of what you're going to get in these loot boxes, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't end the issue by any means, but at least when there are kids who like are obsessed with FIFA and really just want Ronaldo in FIFA, they can see that, yeah, you can spend $2 on this loot box, but there is a 0.3% chance you're going to get Ronaldo and a 99% chance you're going to get this player you've never heard of. So
we'll keep an eye on that. Again, that I think they've said they're going to try and get those numbers up by 2020, which is still, a ways away.
Yeah. Not to belabor the issue, but did you hear, we didn't really talk about this because neither of these games are huge Switch games, but did you hear how they added microtransactions like after launch in Black Ops 4 and Crash Team Racing?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
No.
So for both of those games, long after they came out, super long for Black Ops 4, not so long for Crash Team Racing, they added just microtransactions, so loot boxes and stuff. Loot boxes for Black Ops 4, I believe it just microtransactions in Crash Team Racing, because Crash Team Racing has a lot of grinding in it in its online store, and so now you can just skip the grinding and just buy the points that you need to get the new skin. And people have taken a lot of issue with that on the internet, because now, whereas a review, like if I'm writing a review, like that's, especially in this day and age, like that's a thing to me, like, oh man, look at all these loot boxes, like I don't like that. So I might have mentioned that in my review, whereas all the reviews of these games are not going to mention it. So if someone's thinking about going out and picking up that game, they're not going to have that knowledge like ever, for like, unless people go back and edit their reviews, which they're not going to do.
That's bizarre that they would patch that in later.
It makes sense from Activision. Totally makes sense. They're both Activision, but it makes sense for Call of Duty. Didn't see that really coming with Crash Team Racing. I just think it sucks.
Yeah, no, it does suck.
Kind of puts a tarnish on a game that is as great as Crash Team Racing.
Another short bit of news from the last week. Capcom has recently announced that the 2D platformer DuckTales Remastered will be leaving digital stores across all platforms. So I don't really know why they're pulling it, if there's any reason behind that.
Probably has something to do with the rights to DuckTales or some of the music in the game, or it's probably a Disney issue, but it sucks. I mean, DuckTales isn't on PS4 or Xbox One as far as I know. So this really only affects PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U, which is why we're mentioning, because it's on Wii U. But it's a fantastic game. I love DuckTales Remastered. I loved the NES game. Stay tuned. But I loved the remaster, and it's really sad to see that no one's going to be able to download it or play it anymore. I mean, there's still physical copies out there, but this is the danger of digital.
If you own it, they're not stripping it from you.
No, but if you own it and you haven't downloaded it, you can't download it anymore. Right. So you basically don't own it.
That's why I'm a physical boy. That's why I have freaking cardboard boxes full of carts that I don't know where to put.
I don't have room anymore to be a physical boy.
Yeah.
I've recently become a more digital guy. That's what we're calling it now. Physical boy versus digital guy. But like recently with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and Fire Emblem, I bought those games digitally, and it's been great, and I love it. Mostly because I know they probably won't ever get taken down. Ultimate Alliance 3 actually is up in the air, because Ultimate Alliance, the collection, was re-released on PS4, and I don't think you can download it anymore. So we'll see. I'm not going to delete that game. Yeah. It's staying on my Switch, because what if it does get taken down?
What size SD card are you running?
128, I believe.
Really nice. I have a 64. Probably have to switch, but
I would, if I had the money for it, I would pay for like a 500 gigabyte or something like that. I definitely think it's worth the investment. I actually had like a like $10 128 gigabyte that I got off of eBay, and I was like, wow, what a great deal. And then of course it just broke like months into using it. Yeah. And so I had to buy a new one and transfer all my stuff. Thank goodness there are cloud saves now, except for games in like Splatoon where my saves are just gone.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait like 3 years and get like a 1 terabyte micro SD for like $5.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, because they drop in price. So
right now they're like $500 or something silly like that. But Anyway, additionally on the digital front, the August NES games have been announced.
Woohoo!
Starting on August 21st, you'll be able to play Kung Fu Heroes and Vice Project Doom.
Oh man, Kung Fu Heroes and Vice Project Doom, my 2 favorite NES games, said no one ever.
Right. Well, I mean, I've played a couple games for the first time using this NES collection that, it's for free.
But it's not, you're paying for it. Switch Online already sucks.
Okay,
nothing works online, like, at all. I think Fortnite works fine, but Fortnite you don't even need Switch Online for.
Yep.
That's just free. So, like, I should be able to be like, wow, I'm paying for Switch Online, and maybe the online stuff doesn't work too well, but at least I can have all these NES games, but most of them suck.
Yeah, most of them are pretty strange, but, like, Solomon's Key, I've played a game that's very similar to that for the Game Boy Color that I've always loved, but I didn't know it was based on Solomon's Key, and so that's Monster Rancher for you.
Yo,
Game Boy Color,
what?
folks. It's a Monster Rancher game. It's
Solomon's Key is?
No, Monster Rancher for the Game Boy Color. I can't think of what it's called.
Like, Solomon's Key is like Monster Rancher?
Oh, no. The Monster Rancher game for the Game Boy Color took the mechanics of Solomon's Key. It was basically a reskinned Solomon's Keys, but I didn't know that until the NES collection came out. So I'm just saying, well, there's some value somewhere.
And I mean, I guess there's value, like Zelda's on there, Metroid's on there.
And there are 10-year-olds playing those for the first time.
Yeah, and that's nice. But, like, come on, give us SNES games.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's the thing. I don't remember who said this, so I'm stealing someone's thoughts, and I'm sorry, but I saw this on YouTube or on an article or something. People who are playing video games right now, which are generally probably, like, 16 to, like, 30, like, the average. Of course, people older than that play games, but, like, they're nostalgic for N64, GameCube era, and that's what they should be giving out, because that's what nostalgia is. Even SNES, too, sometimes. NES nostalgia is dead. Like, people are over it, because the people that were really playing NES got all their nostalgia through, like, the Wii and the Wii U, and they've replayed those games so many times that it means so little that, they re-released Zelda on the Switch. Like, it just doesn't mean as much as it used to.
If you care about the game, you have it in some form that it's been released over the past 30 years.
And it's still really cool that those are on the Switch. I miss the Virtual Console.
Yeah. I totally agree. The Wii Virtual Console was just, like, mind-blowing at the time.
It's so good. It's still great. The Wii U Virtual Console too. I didn't know until, like, earlier this year that it had Game Boy Advanced and DS games. I was like, when I heard there were DS games, I was like, what? Mind-blowing. I think that's so cool, and it would be really cool to see something like that on Switch.
Yeah, the Switch needs to catch up.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get something like that soon.
Yeah, and okay, I just have a couple fun little stories here to tack on to the NES stuff. I don't know if I've read these on, like, some CNET, and I think one of them might have even been on, like, CNN. Mm-hmm. But so some guy found a sealed copy of Kid Icarus in his attic, and it was sold for $9,000, which is a lot of money for an old game. But it was sealed, and that's pretty crazy. It had the receipt and everything with it.
That's cool.
I know, it's pretty funny. And then somebody also decided to sell one of their copies of the 1990 World Championship Nintendo tournament. Like, they put all the games that they were playing during that tournament. It's a couple games, but they made special versions for the competition and put them on this cartridge. And the winner, or maybe the top 4, all that got the cartridge. Anyway, he sold it to a pawn shop for $25,000.
That's crazy.
I would like that money, please. I would like that game, please. Actually, I wish I was the one paying the $25,000 for that game.
If you had that game, if you stumbled upon it, would you sell it?
No. I'm a physical boy. I like the collectible
that's
stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'd sell it.
Really?
I don't know. Because I do have some things. I don't have anything crazy valuable. So most of my things that I have are like, that's worth $100 or something. And I'm like, well, that's not enough. I'd rather have that. But if it was $25,000... I don't know.
Our last piece of news is kind of just a potential story. We'll find out if it comes to anything, but Sean Murray was talking with Game Informer and was asked about a potential port of No Man's Sky. And here's what he said, quote, "It's super interesting. I love the Switch. We're obviously very focused on what we're doing right now, but we have done a lot of work for PSVR to optimize the game. So I'd be interested to see what's possible. But at the moment, we're just very focused on what we're doing right now." End quote. I think that means they're not really looking at it at the moment. I think they could port it when there's like a complete edition for whatever like the next generation is. I think it'll be released for that, but I don't think they can quite bring it to the Switch.
I don't know. I think you get it to Switch. No Man's Sky, I mean, it does a lot. You know, there's a lot of planets and a lot of like processing power in that. But beyond that, I don't think it's too technically challenging. So I feel like they could definitely bring out a version for the Switch. And I think that'd be really cool to see. I'd pick it up again if it came out on the Switch, because I have not played that game since its hellish launch back in the day.
I have not played it, and I'm actually really interested in playing it. I'm not trying to be pessimistic here. You know, if they can manage it, please bring it to the Switch. You will have a sale right here. But yeah, it was it fun?
No, it was really bad. I mean, that's
what
why
I
I said the hellish.
But I've heard it's gotten better.
I was gonna say, I hear it's really good now. So hey, I would like to try it again, but I've not been compelled to pick it back up.
Yeah.
For PS4 or Xbox, because I bought a physical edition when I was a physical boy, so I sold it because I hated it. So I don't still have it, and nothing has really compelled me to get it again. But if it came out on Switch, I think I'd pick it up again.
Yeah, cool. We'll keep an eye out. Fingers crossed. So that was our news for the week. Are you ready to move on into what we've been playing?
Yeah.
What have you been playing, Jake?
Pretty much nothing.
Oh.
Like I mentioned earlier, it's been such a busy week for me, seeing as how I move in like 2 days as of recording. So I've mostly been packing and spending real life quality time with people before I leave.
But your waifu needs you on Fire Emblem.
I have been playing Fire Emblem. That's the only thing that I've been playing, but I don't think I want to spend another 30 minutes talking about it.
When you finish it, I think you might get another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I will say, I'll throw in there, I did make it to part 2 finally. I'm like 46 hours in. Yeah, and I still feel like there's so much game to play. And yeah, what happened in the story shocked me. That's all I'll say, in a good way.
Cool.
Yeah. So we can move on from that. Don't wanna dwell on that. Oh, something non-Nintendo that I have been playing recently.
Non-Nintendo.
Yeah, non-Nintendo is I bought a Sega Dreamcast, which is one of my like gaming holy grails. Like I've always wanted one, but I just haven't pulled the trigger. Like it's not rare. Like, you know, I say holy grail, but I've just always wanted a Dreamcast. And I finally was just like, you know what? I'm going to buy. It's also in a few days, it's my birthday. So I was like, it's my birthday week. I'm going to buy a Dreamcast.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. But I bought Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on that.
So good.
And I've been playing a lot of that on my, not a lot, but I've been playing that on my Dreamcast. But other than that, we have some gems we're going to talk about. So I've been playing those, but nothing more recent.
All right. Well, that means that I get to talk about what I've been playing.
Yeah,
I've been playing.
I know you've been playing a lot.
I've been playing almost too much. I don't feel like I've gotten to play enough of like each of them, which is a little unfortunate. So the first game I'd like to talk about, I brought it up last week. It is called Undertale.
Whoa.
Oof. Ouch. What'd you say last week?
I said oof.
Yeah. Oof. That's not far from how I feel now.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear what you're about to say. Are you finished? Did you finish it?
I finished it last night.
Ooh.
It took me 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
And okay, you know what, guys? I think we're gonna go spoiler heavy here.
We gotta.
We have timestamps in the show notes, so if I feel like I'm the only person on the planet
also feel like
at this
you're the
point
only person
that either hasn't played it or didn't know what was going on. So, but yeah, spoilers. So skip to the next section if you don't want to hear it. Anyway, yeah, I finished it. It was cool.
Cool.
I got the vibe it was going for.
Do you think it was the best video game ever made, like so many people did back then?
No, I could tell the flavor of edgy that it was going for, and it was not my flavor. Like, it was funny at some points. I genuinely thought there were some funny things, and like, so the Undyne fight. I don't know if you recall who Undyne is. Mm-hmm. She's like
fish lady.
She is a fish, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she tracks you down. That whole sequence was cool, and the fight with her was fun, and I decided to spare her. I liked the nuance there. She was like conflicted, like, is this human a monster? Or like, why are they giving me water? Like, I'm dying, I'm boiling in my suit right now, but they're giving me water? Like, I guess I'm just gonna walk away. I'm gonna, like, you know what I mean? We'll call this one even.
Yeah.
And I liked that. And then like, and she saw me save the kid. He was like hanging onto the cliff, like the little kid that kept on tripping all over the place. Mm-hmm. He was super cute. But she saw me like save this kid. And so like, it was interesting, the topics it brought up. Obviously, the big twist are the XP and the love points. I feel like you learn about that at the end. All along the way, you have the choice of either fighting or interacting with the creatures in a way that would allow you to spare them. And that was kind of like the joke or tease or taunt or criticize, whatever. I kind of touched on it last week. And so if you choose to spare them, you don't get any experience, any XP, but you get money. If you kill them, you get XP and money. And so what it turns out at the end, what XP stands for is execution points. And so I had killed my fair share of things throughout the game. And so I had a collection of execution points. And then throughout the game, as you like killed things and gained these XP, as you gained XP, you also like your love. I don't know if it was love level increased or just like your love increased. Love stood for level of violence. And so like, obviously the more you killed and the more execution points you got, the higher your love went. So your level of violence went up. And so that was the trick. That was kind of and so the kid was the monster the whole time.
Did you get to the Sans fight where it's like, you're gonna have a bad time?
No.
You didn't fight Sans?
Am I gonna have to play this stupid game again?
I did. Okay, that was for my meme.
Well,
I did a meme.
That's really funny because I recognized that song, but like I would never have known it was from Undertale.
Really?
I did not. I fought the flower. I don't know. I fought a flower, and it became like the game went meta, as I mentioned, as I thought it would. The whole game was meta. Like the menu boxes would like float around and break and like shatter. But this time, like, the art style changed. It talked about your save files. Like, he was tampering with my save files and, like, would load me up right when I was dying over and over again. Like,
crazy stuff. You can, like, they'll know if you go into, like, the source code of the game, like, on PC and edit with it, like, the game knows. It's really? One of those. Yeah, and it'll be like, I know you've been trying to tamper with this, with the, like, say, with the code of the game. Like, you can't do that.
Well, that's... I can tell there's a whole lot of little things about this game that can change how the playthrough feels. I don't think I can play through it again. It kind of felt like a slog. I wanted to be done with it so I could play other things. Like the other games we're going to talk about, I wanted to be playing those.
Interesting.
But it was an experience, and it was very mother-like. Again, as I said, just very absurdist. I don't know what level of humor it was trying to reach. I don't quite understand.
I don't really remember all that, but I do remember being just very sarcastic, I guess, is that kind of humor. Like trying to be really serious, but also like really goofy at the same time. Like Papyrus was really like a goofy character.
Yeah.
Sans and Papyrus, but then like there would be really, really serious stuff happening at the same time too, so.
I just feel like it tried to cut through the middle and kind of missed a bunch of marks.
Yeah. Do you know about the different kinds of way you can play the game, like different runs? Like have you done research or anything on it?
A little bit. I know there's like you can go through the game and not kill a single thing.
That's like the good ending.
Yeah,
there's the pacifist run, the genocide run, and then like the middle run, which I guess is what you did.
Yeah, I was pretty lukewarm.
Yeah.
But do you know the endings?
No. I just know in the genocide run, you know how like it's like randomly encounters with enemies? You have to like walk around in circles over and over and over again, and there is a set amount of enemies in every area that exist, and once you kill all of them, the game's music switches to like really depressing and like empty sounding, like you're in a ghost town kind of thing.
Creepy.
Yeah, and people will know, like you'll walk in it, like everything when you talk to people changes because they know that you're like the person who murdered everyone in that town, like, and you're like coming for them. Like it changes a lot. So, I mean, that's kind of neat, I guess. But like you were saying, it's not my kind of thing. Like, I've
played better mobile games that kind of went for a similar like vibe, like A Dark Room. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's years old at this point, but it kind of just has like the creepy, like.
I'll tell you what game is similar but goes for the same vibe. Doki Doki Literature Club, which you should play.
You did mention that.
I did mention it. You should play it.
I'll work on it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Undertale. I will give it a 6 out of 10.
Controversial.
Yeah, and I don't know. Don't make me play it again, please. Maybe I'll watch a couple endings on YouTube just to round out my understanding. I do know there's like some kind of prequel game
Deltarune.
Yeah, that came out, and if it's anything like this, I just don't have the time for it.
Yeah, I also don't care. Sorry, Undertale fans.
I guess my last note would be that the Hotland music, that was the highlight of the game. It was like jazzy, funky, fusion-y.
All of the music in this game is amazing, I think. That's one of the better things about it. Like that Sans theme, it's such a meme at this point to play the Sans theme, but it's like a really good song. Yeah, what a dance party.
That's a jam. But
an absolute jam.
Other than that, I don't know. I'm done with the game. It was fine. I hope if you've played it, you liked it, but not for me.
Lots of people certainly did.
Yep. Moving on. Finally, I can put that one on the back burner for now. I found a game at a bargain shop that I was not expecting to like, and I have been wanting to play it more but couldn't because of Undertale. It's called Yokai Watch.
Yo, really?
Really? It's for the 3DS. It's the first one. I found it for $3.50, along with Codename Steam for the 3DS as well. I haven't touched that one yet, but it was also $3.50. And I just felt like I couldn't pass them up because, both are big names or got decent reviews at the time. But I've been playing Yokai Watch on my 3DS, and it's pretty cool, man. I'm a sucker for monster collectors, like Dragon Warrior monsters. I've played multiple versions of those from like the Game Boy Color up through the DS. Obviously Pokemon, I will touch any Digimon that I can, and this is certainly very different. It's very cartoony. It's obviously anime, and I believe there is an anime that accompanies it, but the game is pretty darn fun and leans very heavily into like the setting of the game. It's basically a city, like a not very urban. It's not like New York, but kind of a suburban city. But it's huge. There's lots of different areas, and I find myself getting lost. It's really cute because they want you to like pay attention to like traffic. You have to press like the button to cross the street so you get the walk signal and everything, or else like you'll get in trouble. Which is cute. But what do you know about this game?
Not much, honestly. What have I've never played it. It looked interesting. I was really intrigued when it was first coming out because it was touted as the Pokemon killer. Right. Because it was so popular in Japan. I as far as I'm aware, it's still pretty popular in Japan. But when they brought it to the West, it just didn't do like anything. I was gonna play it, but then I heard a lot of people say it's really geared towards kids, so I didn't bother picking it up. The combat looked really Monster Questy. Not Monster Quest, Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest Monsters. That's the game I'm thinking of, right? It looked like that, or it just looked like Dragon Quest, the more traditional turn-based, Earthboundy stuff, which I'm just not crazy about, really. So I never picked it up. The most I know about it is one of my friends always going, Jibanyan! Whenever we'd find a Jibanyan plush in a GameStop.
There you go.
That's the most I know about it.
Yeah. It's definitely geared towards kids. The combat is super interesting. It's not exactly in depth. It's certainly not as complex as Pokemon, but all 6 of your yokai are kind of in play at once. Technically, there's 3 that are active and 3 that are resting. But with just like by turning, it's like a rotary phone, but it's your watch. You just turn the dial. And like
hence Yokai Watch.
Exactly. All this, like the bottom screen is essentially your watch interface during battle, that is. And so you turn your watch and like the 3 active yokai change like that fast. And so they all kind of just in real time, but it's still kind of turn-based. They all just kind of like attack each other back and forth, and they have an attack value, defense value, and then they also have like their special attacks, which they charge up over time. And this is kind of where the repetition comes in. When you use your special attack to basically fully charge it, get it ready for launch, there's one of 3 little mini games, I guess, that you'll play. They take 10 seconds each. But one of them is like you tap all the little bubbles. One of them is you spin the wheel. And the other I can't think of right now. But you just do those over and over again. And that's all that the special attacks are. I think there are a lot of mechanics that I haven't quite figured out that possibly could be in play. But I rarely feel like they matter because the game's pretty easy. I'm not very far. I couldn't be more than 15 hours. I'm probably 10 hours in. And I'm looking forward to continuing it. I've probably only run into 30 or 40 of the yokai, and like it says there's like 200 in this game. And so I'm really looking forward to, seeing what they look like. I don't love all the designs. Pokemon are definitely cuter than yokai because they're like spirits. They're supposed to be like representative of strange mishaps and curses and spooky things.
Yeah.
And so some of them are cute and some of them are just kind of there. I will never even think about them ever again. But still, it's interesting. I love just catch-em-alls. And so I'm having a lot of fun exploring the world. I'm also impressed with the setting. The city feels really good to run around in. It feels lively. There's so many people. Like, you can talk to all of them, and they just repeat the same line, like, once or twice.
Well, yeah.
But
just
still,
like Pokemon.
It's super well populated. The cars are, like, zooming by you. All that said, I'm not telling you this discount store, because they had Yokai Watch 2 there. Ooh. I'm looking forward to picking that one up when I'm done with this, to see if they improved or changed the parts that I didn't like so much. The combat is repetitive. It's very unique, and they can do it right. But if they just need to incorporate a little bit more to... If they're going to make you participate by, like, spinning things or tapping things or, like, there needs to be something a little more to it other than the same 3 activities over and over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious if 2 and 3 remedied that, and 4 is on the way to America, I think, as we discussed. Was it last week?
It was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but I'm on board. I'm a Yokai Watch fan.
Awesome. I didn't expect that.
I didn't either. I'm really happy to report it. Just I won't watch the anime, and I'm not interested in really much beyond the game, but it's just a fun game. So, yeah. Yeah,
I'm excited to hear your journey with the series continue.
I know, and I'll certainly update you. Maybe, obviously, I don't know how this story is going to unfold. It's a very loose story. Mm-hmm. I just got this watch, which allows me to see the spirits. And so, I don't know where I'm going from here. But when I wrap up, I'll give you a better review.
Awesome.
And I'm going to pick up 2 ASAP, so you can't have it.
Darn.
Yeah.
My plans foiled.
Haha. But I think that's kind of what I've been playing this week, and it's been a busy gaming week for me.
Yeah, the complete opposite for me, other than some gems that, like I said, we're gonna get into. But I think things are gonna pick back up soon. I know later in this month we've got Rad coming out from Double Fine. We've got Astral Chain. So those are two games I'm definitely gonna be picking up and playing. So
Astral Chain looks sweet.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm pumped. I love platinum games.
Yeah, but let's get into our gem of the week.
Woo! Gem of the week.
And this week was actually kind of Jake's pick. Would you like to announce to the audience?
Yeah, it was Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2.
All right, for the Super NES.
Yes.
Originally.
It's been ported all over the place.
Yes. More notably to the Game Boy Advance as Super Mario Advance 3. Yoshi's Island. And that's actually the version that I've been playing when you told me that we were going to do this game.
Yeah, and sadly, I meant to go play it on the SNES because I have a physical copy right here in my hands, but I couldn't find the cords to hook up my SNES. It's heartbreaking. So I went on the Wii U Virtual Console, and the only version of Yoshi's Island on the Wii U Virtual Console is the Game Boy Advance version, and I didn't feel like going back even further to the Wii or trying the 3DS, so I just picked up the Game Boy Advance version. So that's pretty much what I've been playing too. But yeah.
If I understand correctly, though, not much has been changed from the 2 versions.
No, they're almost exactly the same.
I think it's just a couple quality of life
issues.
Yeah,
which we'll get into. But when I brought up this game, I thought it was really funny because just last week, Braydon mentioned he didn't like 2D Mario games.
Yeah, that's kind of the awkward thing here. Thanks for that.
But it's not. I don't think it's a 2D Mario game, as we were talking. Like, you're not going to get a Yoshi's Island Mario Maker game. Like, that's not going to be a theme in Mario Maker. Like, it's so